Okay. So I'm up really close because I'm going to read some excerpts from this book, Carla McLaren's The Language of Emotions. And like I said before, I really love her work, and it's like an emotions Bible. So I highly recommend. And again, I've linked where you can buy it. Um, but I wanted to just read some of this in her language because it just really resonated and was super beautiful. And yeah, I just wanted it to be available to you. So she says, in Indigenous traditions, it's known that serious public grieving helps the dead cross over into the next world. The sounds of wailing are said to alert the ancestors to the death and to create a pathway for the departed souls to follow if they get confused or lost. These stories tell us that if we living people don't cry and genuinely mourn our losses, the dead won't realize what happened, and the spirit world, the ancestors, won't properly be alerted. If we don't get into the river and mourn, there won't be enough water in the river, which means the dead won't be able to cross into the next world and become the ancestors themselves. We, the living, help transport the dead to the next world through the quality of our grief and the quantity of our tears. Wow. If grieving is necessary and sacred, then what a terrible legacy we create for ourselves and our dead in our grief-impaired culture, in which we move dead bodies into boxes and urns and gather quietly in our somber outfits around tables full of food. We tell each other it was all for the best, or that little Bobby is in a better world now. Our minds devise perfect explanations. Our spirits imagine the departed in heaven or nirvana. Our feelings are I can't say this word very well. Anesthetized. There we go. Our bodies are uninhabited and we hold up very well. What an amazingly accurate description of grief impairment. When we see someone actively dropping into grief and mourning, we often turn away. It's embarrassing. It's frightening. It's distasteful. It's just not done. We turn away from the grief around us because we don't want to feel anything that deeply. It's too threatening. We straighten our clothing and turn away. And that's the real death, the death of compassion, of community, of feeling, and of understanding. When we don't allow ourselves to grieve, we're repeatedly traumatized by death. When we refuse to feel the pain of loss, we refuse to honor our connections. We trick ourselves into thinking we can guard ourselves against all pain if we just refuse to grieve or think about or prepare for death. In that refusal, however, we make a deadly mistake. We move further and further away from ourselves. We fail to connect deeply to the people in our lives. We lose connection to the real flow of life, and we dry up inside. Because there is no one in the river to honor our lost loved ones or our lost dreams. Each death and each loss, because we don't feel it property, just stacks itself on top of the last death. There's a lot to be said about all of this that was read. And there's more, obviously. Get the book. I mean, I really want to just like read the whole thing here. But I guess I felt like this was a perfect thing to just reiterate the power of what you're choosing to do, the power of what you're choosing to show up to, the power of what needs to happen, desperately needs to happen in our world. And yeah, I'm here for it. And again, just massive gratitude to all of you who are truly honoring grief and life. So, okay.